Good morning. Good morning. So I'm trying to get used to this. Okay. I got a new camera. I have a digital camera now. So my camera's up here and I'm used to looking down here. I will still look down here because I'm using StreamYard and I have I have to see my comments. See, I have to look down to see that Bola is here and Bola said good morning. Morning, Bola. Yeah, my digital camera came yesterday. So I am trying to look at the right camera. This is going to take some getting used to looking up. And then I logged on late because I was forgetting that I have a standing desk so my desk can move. So I'm up here like playing with the height. At one time, it was like I was taking up the whole frame. It was just looking crazy. Good morning. Good morning, Paula. Good morning. So I'm trying to focus here, but I will be looking down to look at the comments so that make sure that we're still staying engaged. Good morning, Bola. Good morning, Paula. Hope you both are having an amazing time. Yes, girl, growth on day, what's the day? Today's day 19. Today's day 19. We are almost at day 21. And can I just say, I'm so proud of y'all for showing up. And I know that a lot of that has to do with me showing up because that's the important part. But for me to show up and get that extra fuel, because when I first started this series, I was like, I'm gonna probably be online for like 15, 20 minutes. And like I reflected on some of the episodes, um, and we've been like 50 minutes, and that really came from you all. You all dropping your questions, comments, engaging. That really does help this conversation today and every day. So I'm excited to keep this going. Like I said, I announced it. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, because today is Tuesday. I announced it Sunday and yesterday. I will continue to do my morning inspirational messages. They're not going to be as structured as this, so they might not have a prompt. These 21 days was more so for me to get back into that groove, and also take you through a process that I've taken myself through of that growth, right? And so that is definitely what I'm excited about. But yeah, I'm excited for next week. Starting next week, just doing those 7 a.m.s. Might even do a little, makeup. I need to make a name for it. I'm working on, as you notice when I start with my intro. So now we're working on the intro and we're working on the outro. So new things are coming. Trying to take this serious, getting digital cameras, having like better quality. Because I did notice that sometimes because I'm recording on StreamYard, the quality wasn't always the greatest, even though it's using my Mac's computer camera. So those kind of things do happen. Oh, okay, we got some ideas. I thought I'll entertain the ideas. So Bola's saying, oh, inspiration with friends. I like that. Any ideas, Paula? I'll take your ideas as well. All right. So I'm gonna have to write that one down, Bola. Text me that one. Um, text me inspiration with friends, so that we can have that idea. But yeah, so today, let's talk about today. Today we have our prompt. It doesn't have the day, but we have it here. So let's see. Thank you, Bola. Oh, Paula says she likes this one too. So we might have something inspiration with friends. Morning inspiration with friends. We're gonna play with this idea by Monday because it's gonna start Monday. Oh, we will definitely have a name for our sessions that will continue after this. But again, truly, truly, deeply, thank you for just being here. It makes it 10 times easier to show up. I always get that feeling when it's like I'm playing with the desk and I'm like, they're probably waiting. Like, so stop playing with the desk, figure it out, and then whatever. So Bola said, I logged so quickly because this topic resonates. It's my current season. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, and this is a very good one. What is going on? What is okay? I don't know what just happened with the new camera, but that's cool. We still here. We just gonna roll with the punches. All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about this. I gotta figure out what happened to my camera. Things happen. All right, so the vision for your life. So this one really came up, and Paula, please do forgive me. The session that we did yesterday, Inspirational Trailblazers, has not been posted yet. I know that you're a trailblazer. That will be posted right after this session. But I have my vision board here, and last night we spoke about our first quarter goals, right? And that's why I have it right there. Normally, I don't keep my vision board that close to me, but it really just does. It make you start wondering. Like, one, I've never been a fan of vision boards because the experiences I've had and I've seen people do is they would get this vision board and they will start looking, because they never do this at home, right? They'll be looking like, oh, what you got over there? Oh, you want a Lamborghini too? Oh, I want a Lamborghini. And these people are going through this process of finding this vision. But it's really a collection of other people's vision. So that's one reason why I've really never been a fan of the vision board. And then the more that I got closer to God, see, I started to look up. The more I got closer to God, that's when I started to realize that a lot of us are creating our own vision for ourselves, and we are eliminating what God is speaking to us about. And that's where I always feel like there's like three visions. There's the visions that you're looking at because you're comparing to everyone else and you're just picking what they're saying. um and then we have this vision, like, the vision that people always say, you seen the meme. Somebody will put up like your vision. You're trying to get a 1 bedroom 1 bath apartment or townhouse, in a Kia, and God is trying, his vision for you is for you to have a 4 bedroom 2 bath with, a Mercedes, those types of things. So sometimes because some people might have limiting beliefs, so some people don't believe that they can make a certain amount of money. So they think about the scope of their current reality. What God looks at, because remember, God sees the end, or he knows the end first. So he's giving you, this is what your vision is going to look like. For a lot of people, it's hard for them to get to that vision, right? And so Bola, and this is something that Bola and I, we've been talking about for many of years, right? One, we do got to get to that understanding that God does give us the visions. He puts this vision in us. And that's why it does scare so many people. A lot of people are very intimidated by that. I've been intimidated by my vision. And it's because it's too big, right? Because in our minds, this is too big. Like, are you serious? And then you have so many people who are so comfortable and just embracing the vision that God gives them, and they just take those steps. They take the right step first, understanding that they don't know when they're going to take the left step and where the left step is going to take them, but they just have so much faith. That's where we all should strive to be, to get to that point, because we should want to live in his vision for our lives. And that's what so many people don't understand. Bola got a lot of comments, but keep them coming. You're just putting down what God puts in you so you can stay on track. And that's exactly what it is. A vision is bigger than what you can comprehend. Exactly. Right. So we have to really understand that this, like, what he's showing you is just, it's just, he's not going to give you, in my opinion, and what I've experienced, God has shown me what like the big picture looks like, right? But he don't show you those little steps. And that's where the faith comes in, right? So 2015 was one of the first times that I ever took like a crazy leap. And that's when I quit my job, right? And in our communities, in our society, you don't quit a job unless you have another job lined up. And when God was pressing on me, pressing. You got to quit. You got to quit. And he showed me the vision, but I didn't know how to get there. So that's why, and this is a part of growing. It's a part of that journey. You want to stop. You're going to have some failures. You're going to have moments where you're going to feel like, what he's abandoned me, but he's not. He's just trying to give you those instructions. This is why when we pray, when we fast, and we just grow closer to him, we start being able to hear those instructions so that it starts to make sense. Right. And that's what a lot of people never do. So they get the vision and they get afraid of the vision because it's like, wait, that just looks too far-fetched. They're checking their bank account, they're checking their present resume, they're looking at their own educational background. And honestly, I always say, when you do things the way God needs for you to do them, especially when it comes to like your gifts, it's going to be so insane how God is going to make things work for you despite never following the way that society told you. And I know, like, for me, I never wanted to be a teacher, right? Never wanted to. Was like, what? Ever since elementary school, my teachers were telling me, and I can understand why, because I always was a teacher. I would help them grade. I would, go home on the weekends, gather my teddy bears and my dolls, and I'm teaching my teddy bears and dolls what my teachers taught me during that week. Like, that was my life. That's why I was never the ordinary kid that watched cartoons. Like, I watched some cartoons, but because I had an older sister and we only had one TV that we had to share, she always had like Star Trek. She's a Trekkie. She always had those things on, and I had to that's why I did what I did. But I just never wanted to be a teacher. In all those years, right? My bachelor's is in communications, because I thought I was going to be the big time publicist in the music industry, and thank God I didn't. And went into the banking world, got into management early in my career, decided I'm going to get an MBA in human resource management. I did that. And then life happens because, what's that? 2008, 2009, was it? Yeah, it was like around that time when the housing and everything, the economy was crashing back then. And I had to just take anything, right? So I took a nonprofit job because I worked in a bank, and then they started merging. Remember, all the banks were starting to merging. So the bank that I was at, they decided that the operations that we had, the company that they was buying out, they had a better operation. So we had to merge teams, and mostly my entire team ultimately was dismantled, and we were laid off. So going to a nonprofit, and I mean, it was a great experience. But the financial part of it, like, nonprofit doesn't pay as much. And, in New York, like, we need a certain number of money. And because how the job was operating, we could not, it was really hard to work a second job, because it was one of those where you really never had the same schedule every week. So some days, some Mondays you were free, and then some Monday nights you were not free. So that became really challenging. But then when life really started to kick my butt, and my ex and I broke up, he moved out. So now I'm really like, okay, I got to get hustled. I attempted to apply for I applied to everything. I applied to Target, to Macy's. That's when downtown Brooklyn was opening up Atlantic Terminal. And every store in there, they had an evening opportunity. I was applying to it because I was even willing to do overnight, because again, I got to pay these bills. So I'm just going through life. God is nowhere. I'm having no conversation. So I'm building this vision, and it's not a good vision, because I'm just letting circumstances dictate my next step, right? So I'm doing all these different things, and my best friend, I always give her credit for this, because she was the one that was like, why don't you be a teacher? I'm like, girl, I don't want to be a teacher. And then she was like, she had to use, because again, I'm a word person, so words have meaning. She was like, okay, why don't you be an adjunct professor? And I was like, I can't do that. I don't have a PhD. And she was like, you don't need a PhD. For most schools, you don't need a PhD. You can just work with your master's. never knew this, because again, society tells us these things. They tell us all of these. So if you never research it, you're walking around like, oh, I can't be a professor because I need to have a PhD. So she was like, no, you don't need it. They also have trade programs. They have like communications that they need people to teach. So we like just having this brain session storm. But it took over a year for me to actually apply for my first position. And I applied, and that's how I started teaching. And it's just from 2010 to now, in different realms of higher education and adult education, that's how I ended up teaching. So people would say to me, well, how is it that you have all these years of experience and you don't have a degree in education? Because if this is what something that God needs for you to do, one, he just needs to get you on track, right? So I'm pretty sure, and I do remember things happening in like 2000, before I even got laid off, like 2007, things at work started to get funky. Everybody, the managers, the senior directors, they're not feeling me. I'm this young girl who fought. I pretty much I wanted to fist fight them for my position, because I knew, like, I put that entire operation together. And they was like, oh no, you're too young. We can't hire you as a site manager. We're going to bring somebody in. And I told them, if you bring somebody in, I'm taking my operation with me, because I mean, technically, they never like paid me to create anything. This is basically everything that I did that made sense to me, because when we were hired, because we were consultants, so we were hired with like no plan. We didn't even know what to do. Our first day, we was all standing around looking crazy, and no one would tell us what to do, because everyone who did the job previously was fired. Or they were sent to other departments. I had to find those people. And sometimes that meant staying really late because they worked the overnight. And I did this all on my own time, because I don't operate in foolishness. So I needed this job, but it had to make sense. So that's just like the kind of person that I've always been. So it's just like, started teaching, building this vision. And in my vision, I'm going to be a college professor. I'm going to get my PhD. I'm going to be a president of a college one day. Like, I had all of these things that I had created in my mind. And again, I really didn't start getting deep with God until 2012. And that was just at the level of just trusting him with my weight, trusting him now with my relationships. It was like slowly I'm showing God, like, I trust you, right? Paula said, I've been there, promote myself without the pay reckoning. Exactly, right? Exactly. I always negotiated the title change when I resigned. Okay, that's actually a smart one. I don't think I've ever done that. Like, negotiated, like, I'm gonna resign, but I need y'all to change my title. That's actually a good one. Okay. I'm happy that worked out. Like, and I was young, so I really was like pouring my blood, sweat, and tears, because I was hearing what society, if you work hard, it's gonna pay off. And we already know that's not always true. So this vision that I started to get 2015, praying, fasting, God is speaking to me, it's starting to make sense. And it was just too bold. It was too big. And so I had to really start understanding, like, when I was in Colombia earlier this week, all I kept feeling was, I want to do this, right? I want to spend time in inspiring people, because again, I'm one of those people that believe that the right inspiration can help someone take the next step or take the first step. That's all that I want people. I want people to get started with their healing journey, whatever that looks like for you, right? I want you to get started on that healing journey. And I want you to start tackling the healing parts of you that you are trying to avoid. So there's always a deeper reason why we're doing something. And so many times people get comfortable and they stay within, think about the weight loss. That was the perfect example. When I started to realize, like, certain foods are triggered by certain things that are happening. So like for me, I was eating a lot of Wendy's in abundance prior to my weight loss journey, like every single day. I even went to the extent of looking at my bank statements and noticing a trend. Like, yo, you're going to Wendy's 2-3 o'clock in the morning, almost every night. What is going on? Like, I've never been a big Wendy's person. So it was like, why are you just gravitating to Wendy's? And I started to reflect on everything else. Is it that I am addicted to Wendy's, or is there something that's deeper that's pushing me towards Wendy's at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning? And that's when God took me to my relationship that I was in at that time. And I really had to sit back and assess the entire relationship. And literally, I did not. I definitely didn't move fast enough, because when you don't move fast enough, oh, God's gonna start. He's gonna start revealing things to you, like, okay, all right, little girl, you're not listening. So let me add a little bit more to this conversation. Oh, you're still not listening. I'm gonna deposit some more information. And I had to understand that. But it got me to the point of realizing my relationship, the poor quality of the relationship that I was in, was leading me to that. And that led me to now healing the relationship, aka I had to leave it. Right? That's what I want people, because I want people to look at, there are certain things that's making you sick, right? And I want you to be able to identify those things. And now you have a point of reference of where you can start. Now you can go to a therapist and say to that therapist, hey, I need help in this, because you know what I'm noticing. And now you and that therapist can strategize. Or you can come to a person like myself and say, hey, I have this problem. I need help strategizing. And now we have a point of reference. That's what I would love to do. I want to get on stages. I want to speak to people in small groups and large groups, internationally, nationally, on virtue, in person. I don't care. I just want to inspire so many people, because I know that there's a lot of individuals out there who don't have a circle of positivity. They don't have a circle of people that truly, that they can trust with their dreams and not feel like they're being judged, or they're being told that it's impossible. So they got a whole bunch of dream killers around them. That is not what I want. I want people to have a safe space where they can come and get poured into and ask questions, and understand that someone has either been through this process or something very similar, and look how they came out, and just leading them through this process, being a part of that journey, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's in group with inspirational trailblazers, or just showing up every day at 7 a.m. with me to get that information, that inspiration that's coming from God. Everything that I do is coming from God. So I'm not giving you, Joe Schmo, or, I was listening to this podcast and they said this. Yes, we might bring moments that have happened in the media that will help to, introduce a topic. But at the end of the day, we just want to get to that point where, okay, God. And that was when I just realized, like, this is the life that I want. Like, that's what I want. I love everything that I do. And so I know that I make an impact. I've seen the impact. So it's just like a huge reflection, not only over the last 19 days, but really this last first quarter, making that vision, going back to God. Again, I'm asking God clearly, God, is this what I'm supposed to do? And what is God doing? He's sending me people while I am in Colombia. He's sending those people over to me, and those people are now letting me know, hey, I follow you, you inspire me. Here I am also in Colombia contemplating moving here, because this is something that, I'm opening my mind to realize that I don't have to retire in my home state. I don't have to retire in my home country. I can go to other places. That's what I want to do. So when I understood, it was like, yes, God, it is a huge burden, right? It's a burden. It's a huge vision. It's something that no one in my family has ever done. I do know people, because again, I used to be in the music industry. So I do understand that I know people that have done it, but it's still like, it's nothing like being able to just like sit down with them, have a cup of coffee, and have this conversation on a random Tuesday. That's not always going to be possible. So that is what I'm like, that's the vision. Bringing Miss Inspiration into life, being Miss Inspiration every aspect of my life, because I know this is what I am called to do. Fully understand that, and I'm ready to do that. But why does this scare me? Right? And so we have gone over this for the last couple of days. The fear of being seen, right? Some people, I have been afraid of being seen, afraid of people, just understanding and hearing my voice and seeing my face. It's like, okay, am I going to allow this to cripple me and to stop me from doing what I know? Or am I going to face it and just accept it? I have faced it and I have accepted that, right? The fear of the unknown. This is actually the part that I always say is why many people don't take the next step, because they don't know what that next step is going to look like. They don't know where they're going to go next. They don't know how that's going to work out for them. When I moved to Tulsa, I didn't know what Tulsa was going to bring me. All I knew was I came here in August for a visit and I fell in love because my energy felt safe. My spirit felt okay. I felt like I could be myself. Came back in September to buy a house. Came in October to record House Hunters, and then packed up my car and I moved here in November. That I had no clue how any of this was going to play out. Absolutely none. But I had to understand that I had to just keep taking that next step. And here I am a year and a half later. And I am like, oh my gosh, like this is the life that I've always wanted. And when you do those things and you just be so obedient to God, you would just realize the peace that you could find, the joy, you could find so many different things when you just go into that and drop that fear. And don't be afraid of the unknown. The third thing that a lot of us could be afraid of is the fear of success, right? So many people think that they are afraid of failing. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm this way, and I own this. Right? My therapist, we have had these conversations, and she would ask me, "What are you afraid of?" I said, "I am afraid of being successful and carrying out God's vision." Because it looks big, like he's showing me it's big, it's bigger than what I want, right? I like a private life. I don't mind, just being in my little bubble. I used to always tell people I'm invisible. No one sees me. That has been proven many a times to be incorrect and false, because people do see me and I am not invisible. And so now when you know that there's a big success coming, that does comes with huge responsibilities. So this is why, and one thing that I know that God has done over the now last 10 years, dang, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. The one thing that he has had me do is research other people. And a lot of people do share their stories. They share how they, embracing this journey, how it has impacted their lives. So I encourage you, if there's someone out there that God is pressing on your heart, research their story, find those beginning narratives, because a lot of them may not still share them, but a lot of them do. I know Eric Thomas does. He talks highly about his upbringing and all of the challenges that he had in his life. Joyce Meyer, she definitely was one that I really honed into and listened to her story. TD Jakes, right? These are a lot of people that have told, like, they've seen the vision, and next thing you know, God is just like, showing them, and they're like, oh my gosh, like this is too big. I don't think this is meant for me, but it is meant for us, right? We got to get comfortable in being the person that we know he has called us to be. Okay. So how are we facing it? How are we going to face this? How have I been facing this? So the face is that I just have to have my faith, right? Faith is the number one thing that has gotten me through so much in life, right? I have to understand that faith is a lot stronger than fear. Faith is going to keep us moving. Fear is going to keep us stuck. So you have to keep choosing. This is an intentional decision. Me waking up every single day and logging into this computer and going out there and saying, I'm going to share these messages, God, whether I get 5 views, 20 views, or 100 views. I'm going to keep going out there. I'm going to keep trusting that the right people that need these messages, whether it's live or on the replay, they're going to receive those messages. And I just keep having that faith and not focusing on the material things, or, the material things, because I already know what the fear does. I know what that life looks like. If you want to know what fear looks like, look at your life before God, right? Look at the times that you chose to not listen to him, and you chose something that kept you stuck? What was the outcome of that? We all have at least one moment in our life that we can always recall. Dad, yo, I really shouldn't let fear have stopped me when I did that. We all have that. I want you to hone in on that, because that's going to let you know. See what happened when you let fear kick in. So now, why not try faith? Why not try faith? If you already know what fear does and what fear looks like, why wouldn't you take a chance? Especially if you're saying that you're walking with God. Especially if you say that you want this big vision that He has for your life. Why wouldn't you take a chance? Because you take many chances with the fear. Every time that you don't do what you're supposed to do, that means that you're taking a chance of fear. The second thing I have 3 points. The second thing that I want you to do when you're facing this fear, is I want you to trust God's timing. Now, somebody drop a 1 in the comment if you struggle with God's timing. Tell me if I'm not the only one, right? Because God's timing, that's actually the hard part for many of us. Right? I used to pull us at 1, right? His timing, we be like, God, when we get into this vision, like you keep showing me this bonus stuff 1, 2. You keep showing me this vision. What day is that? Like, what day? When I still think about that. So what day? The day that I'm on that stage in my dream, when I was about 4 or 5 years old. What day was that? Because can we just skip to the good part, right? But we gotta really trust His timing in jobs, in relationships, and opportunities, because His timing is definitely going to give us that we know that we're going to be in like the right time, right? Bola said, give me an ETA. We should make a t-shirt. Guy, give me an ETA. Come on, I just need an ETA. I always think about there's a meme of DJ Khaled, and I always laugh at this one because it's like DJ Khaled is peeking through a door, and it says, me just checking in with God to see if He needs any help. That's me sometimes, right? Some days I'm gonna feel like this. I'm just saying, do you need some assistance? Do you need, can you just give me an update? Because I'm trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? I want to get where you want me to be, but when we get in here, right? So we could fly a plane. Even the pilot will let us know, okay, we might be entering the city 5 minutes early. Like, we get ETAs. Come on, Lord. But we trust his his timing. Paula said, are we there yet? Exactly. Are we there yet, Lord? So I love being able to laugh with you guys. I love it. This really, like I said, this fuels me. But we really just got to just get to that point of just like, all right, God, I'm gonna trust you. Right? I'm gonna trust you. Right? Society says your business won't, the most business owners won't see a profit for until after 3 years. They won't see their first million until after 5 years. And the one thing I have learned being around certain people, that's not always true. That's what society tells us. And I even hear Christians say this. Christians be like, oh, you can start a business today, but you're not going to be successful until so and so and so. And then you meet some people that God gives them an idea. They follow it exactly the way that God is telling them to do it. And next thing you know, in 6 months, they made their first million. And so I'm going to be like, well, which one is it? And so it's about His timing, right? Some of us, let's keep it a buck. There's some people out here that we all know. We know at least one person that we know God is going to take His time to make them a millionaire, because He knows that they're not good stewards, even with the money that they have now. That might be why some people are praying for $1 million. God, I need $1 million. I need $1 million. And God is like, I gave you $20 and you blew that one. So why would I give you $1 million? No, relax. Still do some development. And then sometimes it's about location. It's about, some people just have this real mindset. And I hate this mindset now. Just stay in the house. I'm gonna just stay in my house. I'm gonna stay in my house. They don't want to go nowhere. I know people that go. I know I have learned, and I've seen a lot of people, especially who are involved in the church, go back into the church. Yes, they love the virtual part. Yes, they can, put their head bugs in and they can go to Trader Joe's. But some people, they need that community. And so it's like they're looking for something. They're looking for the community. They're looking for opportunities, but they're staying away. Some people are going back into the church. There are people who are just going outside. Like I'm back into that space of just going to purposeful events, being amongst people that I can learn from, that I can grow with, I can glean from, and we can exchange or collaborate on different ideas, because that's what he's going to do. But he also needs you to do certain things. And when you do that, then within his time, things will start to come together. So you have to just understand he's equipping us in that waiting season. And don't worry, and don't compare. And this is going to be the last point for this one. Don't compare your waiting season to someone else. Many people get caught up in that one, right? Well, especially with singles, right? Single women, I know we spoke about that yesterday, but that's the one thing that really I pray for so many women, because they're like, well, so-and-so did this and met their husband in 2 weeks. And I've been, and because sometimes, and I'm like, hey, that person might have heard God exactly, very clear, did exactly what God told them to do, did it the way God told them to do it, and he did it. You might be missing a step. You might be like, I'm not doing that. Whatever your situation is, you got to get comfortable in knowing, all right, Lord, I'm going to just trust you. Praise, be happy for them, be joyful for them. And that's something that a lot of people are not doing. They can't be excited for others in their waiting season because they're jealous or they're envious or they're waiting like, when is it my turn, God? So that's also something. He's definitely equipping us while we are waiting. The last thing that we really want to do is we have to actually commit to the process, right? And so yesterday in our empowerment session, I spoke about this. A lot of people are not consistent, right? I haven't been consistent for many of years going live. I mean, these are things that we have to be accountable for. Are you committing to the process? If God told you every single day, I need you to do this and I will provide for you, right? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to be fully committed to this process? Especially when it doesn't make sense. If you know you follow God, you know how many times God has given us instructions that did not make sense. And so we end up delaying ourselves because we're trying to make sense of it. We're up here like, but why would I do that? Let me go and pray about this again. Let me make sure I was clear. So now you missed that day because he told you to do it. You didn't do it. So now you missed day one. Set his day one, right? And now your day one might have been on his day 5 because you're not trusting and you're not committing to the process. So you have to be willing to understand that God doesn't always make sense, but just trust and follow those instructions. You have to be willing to be stretched. He's going to stretch you outside of your comfort zone. It's not going to be all peaches and cream. He needs to stretch you. He needs to help you grow. He needs to help you evolve. You are going to go through a lot of transformation when you are going through this process. You're going to be very uncomfortable. Things are going to happen. Y'all saw what happened just now, a few minutes ago. I was on the digital camera. Next thing you know, something happened. And did I get flustered? Did I end the live? Did I, forget this? The old Tanisha would have made an excuse and been like, see, this is why I don't do this because, something always happens. I got to roll with the punches. That's a part of being stretched. How do you deal with the problem? Do you keep going or do you stop and vent and get sad and get upset and then you just abort mission? I'm not going to lie. The old me would have been like, forget this. We on day 19. Well, Vic got 19 days. Forget about 21. We can't do that now. Can't do that. Right? This is the part of the process. This is the part of learning and growing in his will so that we can get to his vision. These things are all going to happen. Right? Nothing, just because we're following God, just because we're following his vision doesn't mean that it's going to be a perfect journey. You're still going to have challenges. Those challenges is to see, how do you respond? How do you respond to this? Are you truly committed to this? Do you really want this? And look, in our moments, we can be very honest with God, because God can handle that honesty. He can handle us saying, you know what, God, I don't think I'm good for this. I don't think I'm good enough. Right? You can have that private moment. You can sit, because that's how he's gonna fuel you. He's gonna bring those people. You know, when you start asking those questions and you're still doing it, that's the key part. Keep doing it. But when you log off, God, you sure about this? He gonna send you another reminder. He gonna send you another person, and it's gonna be like, okay, you know what? Good. I can stop doubting myself. I know I'm gonna just keep doing, and I'm gonna just keep doing the way that you're telling me to do, and just keep growing from there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know if this is making sense to you. And for those of you again who are watching the replay, please hashtag replay so that I know that you are here with us today and that this is making sense for you. All right. So, what I want to encourage you to do, I want to encourage you to normalize I want you to normalize fear, right? I think so many times people tell us, don't be afraid. No, fear is normal, right? We just cannot allow fear to cripple us, right? We need to normalize fear. It's okay to be afraid of that vision. It's okay to look. I always do this. I see the vision over there. It's okay to be afraid of it, to look at it and be like, but just keep trusting and taking those little steps that he is telling you to take. Okay? So normalize it and just know that the closer you get, the vision is just going to be, it's going to be revealed to you even more. Okay? And I want you to just walk in it no matter what. Whether you mess up, you don't show up you don't show up perfect. You have some doubt. That's fine. Just keep walking in it. Keep walking in it. Keep trusting, right? Because you know that God is leading you. The next book, one of the next books that we're going to read in Inspirational Trailblazers is this book called The Dream Giver. This book is written by Bruce Wilkinson. This book, to me, honestly, when I say understanding how that big dream, that big vision, this book makes it so easy. Like, he breaks it down in the easiest way for anyone to understand. And this is a book that we're going to, in Inspirational Trailblazers, we're going to definitely look at this. What did Paula say? When things go easy, I'm uncomfortable. I'm learning to lean into easy. Absolutely. And she added, means I'm on the path. Oh, she said, eek. All right. Yeah, that's actually a very good point, Paula. I really like that. When things go easy, it means that you're uncomfortable, right? And so we do need to learn. We need to lean into that. That is very, very, very profound. So I just want you to just keep taking those steps. Take one step. And the beautiful part is we have one day, right? So you cannot accomplish tomorrow until tomorrow. You can accomplish today. Take whatever steps. Take them and take that step that's going to get you. So it could be sending out an email, making an introduction to someone, making a phone call. It might mean sitting down on Canva or on PowerPoint and creating something. For some people, a book. So many people need to write books. It might mean for you to open up that application, Google Docs, your notes, and just start writing. Take that one step towards that big dream, that big, scary vision that God is showing you. And I want you to take one step towards it. And sometimes it can even mean like looking at your vision board and saying, okay, what is one thing on this vision board that is like petrifying? It's scaring me to like, oh my gosh, it's scaring me to my roots. And I mean, it could be anything. So like, there's a young lady on TikTok. She does. She has lived internationally, and I think she said over 6 countries. A Black woman from the United States, and so many people are afraid to apply for their passports. Like, do you know that there's people that are truly afraid to apply for their passport, not because they have criminal records, that they just know that that book is going to mean so many endless opportunities. Maybe not within the next 4 years, because I'm just saying, right? But they know that that's like one step. And I read those comments, and and you know, people who don't understand fear. You know, I understand fear because I teach this, I study this, and I can understand why something as simple as filling out an application, taking what is it, $135 down to the post office with 2 pictures is petrifying to someone, because that means that they now have the opportunity. Oh, I'm like, what? I'm like, sorry, Bola. I'm up here reading your text message. Sorry. Um, they're looking at this app. They don't realize that. Well, no, they do realize, especially those people that they're called for global, right? Global expansion. Where you going? How is it that God is showing you you're going to other continents and you haven't done the passport? That's where fear can come in, because it's like, if I get this passport and those people start calling, that means that I really have to pack a bag and go. That means that I know God is going to send me the money, because He's going to make sure, because that's a part of the vision. That's why I can see people being afraid for something as what we might say, oh, that's not a big deal, man. It's just a passport. But for someone who has a vision that was given to them and shown to them by God, that this is going to be global, that's very intimidating. So they're going to procrastinate. They're going to make excuses. I don't need that. I don't got time. I get off work at 7. So the post office is already closed. He just needs you to take that step. So that's why, and I had commented that one day. Someone was like, you guys are y'all afraid of everything. And I was like, it's not even about terror and war. Sometimes it's the vision. And that passport is going to it's going to open up so many doors for that vision to come to light. So you have to really be mindful of that. So Paula said, I used to solo travel. I use my solo travel stories to inspire folks to travel beyond there. Paula, we need to definitely talk, because I want to have I'm actually in communications with one of the young ladies that I met in Colombia. She's in her early 30s. She's been solo traveling internationally since she turned 30. She spent 2 years in Peru. I met her in Colombia, and I think she is now. She's back in the States, but I think I forgot where she's going next. Like, she does that. And I want to have like a conversation where we're just talking about encouraging people, because I do the same thing, right? I solo travel, and this year was my first international solo trip, but I'm ready for the next one. And there's so many people who don't get out their city and their states, right? They don't get out. Like, I remember I was chatting with this guy, getting to know him. I live in Oklahoma, right? And like I said, I think I said a few days ago, I had said how moving here, there's certain things I no longer like get stuck to. Like, oh, he ain't got no passport, no. Because a lot of the people in this region, because they don't have a lot of like major airports. Like, a major airport would be, I don't even want to consider OKC, but I guess OKC is more of an international, even though Tulsa is I love Tulsa International Airport, because they see the vision. So they already got the name, right? They already have the name. Tulsa International Airport is my airport in Tulsa. They don't go international, but they see the vision, and that's what I love. So they're like, we're going to get the name now. We're going to be international in 2025. although we might not get our first international flight until like 2027. That's bold. That's brave, right? So what a lot of people in this area, they're road trippers, right? It's nothing for them to go. I've met someone, he said he's been to 32 states. I met another gentleman, he's been to all 48 continental states. So I appreciate that because there's a lot of history here within our own states. But yes, there are some people you have to get that pass. At this point, everyone needs a passport in the climate that we're in. But everyone should have their passport. The more you get that vision, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, your vision is not only going to be for your hometown, your vision is going to be for other places. And God is going to start opening up that, right? So Bola, there's a few comments coming in. So Bola said, yes, God's going to he's going to fund that vision. He's going to fund the vision. He wants to see that vision come to life, right? So we have to do that. So Paula, yes, I have your email, so I will. Paula said, I'm so surprised. Yeah, it's she said full adults. What's a half adult? But no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, a lot of people don't have their passport. They don't have their passport card. Yeah, because I even had said like to like the people here, a lot of people here, they don't that's why I was like, what's a full adult? It's a half an adult. They don't have their passport card because they could drive into Mexico, or they can drive into Canada. So yeah, I definitely understand that. And yeah, Bola, that's why I said I feel like Tulsa is such a unique place because even that, actually, you know what? I might reach out to them. I might need to have a conversation with them about that, have them on here. Because I just think that's beautiful. I think it's such a beautiful thing because that's like you're speaking life over yourself, right? And it doesn't exist, right? It's not a reality. I was in the airport when Kevin on Stage came to Tulsa. The day that I was leaving to go to Columbia, it was the day he had performed in Tulsa the night before, and I heard him say, "How was it Tulsa International?" And was it, baby? We got the vision. The vision is they already claimed it. They don't have to go through the process of changing. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to go later on and now change the trademark. They like, we're gonna wrap this up in one time because we're gonna get there, right? And that's what a lot of us need. Just start claiming it, right? Claim it, even though no one knows who you are. That's why you see people out here, and their signature, your favorite, whatever it is, even though they're not our favorites, right? We don't know these people yet, but they're already claiming it. Your favorite DJ, your favorite artist, your number one inspirational speaker. They're claiming this. They're speaking, and that's huge, right? And the last thing that Paula said, she said, travel brings perspectives to those open to them, and it is, right? So many people don't understand the value of travel. And they just stay in, they stay in what they're comfortable with. They're staying within, the realities of what they see. And when, going to Colombia, I learned so much. Going to Panama, I learned even more, especially with the Panama Canal. Like, have y'all been to the Panama Canal? Please let me know y'all been to the Panama Canal. Because actually, I still have not, I have not posted any real pictures from my trips. I got to do better with that too. I have a lot going on, so I need an assistant. But to see that, that was one of those moments where you remember, I remember learning about the Panama Canal in school and hearing it and watching these videos. And so, oh, look at Paula. She said she's on a cruise this weekend to the Panama. You are going to love it. Now, are you going through the Panama Canal? Because that I have heard is an amazing. Wait, you don't. Paula, why you ain't sending us the details? Paula going on a whole 15-day solo cruise. Paula, we can travel solo and not be alone. Like me and Bola always talk about that. Like we always talk about we can go solo. We just but we could just be there together and still have our solo time, right? So yeah, that is a lot of fun, Paula. I hope you have a blast. But if the cruise is going through, my mentor, she said that was something that she wants, that she was able to do. She was able to go in and, like, they felt the ship drop and go up. So I didn't get to see the ship drop because I wanted to see the movie, and it was the last movie for the day, because they have like a documentary about the history of the Panama Canal, narrated by Morgan Freeman. Morgan out here getting his money, okay? But yeah, so I didn't get to see the ship drop, but I saw the gates open. It's an amazing experience. Look, don't tell me I got with my passport. I was just looking at it too. I'll be right there, like, y'all don't see me. Like, I'm a shirt. Yes, to have an excursion for a smaller trip through the canal. Cruise is through New Locks. Yes. So they do have new locks. We did see they did talk about that because the newest ships are too wide, so they had to make adjustments. So they just made the new pass. But that's good that the excursion is going to take you through the old locks. It's just phenomenal no matter what. Like, it was just amazing. Like, I was so in awe. I was just like, wow, and then listening, like, how, because and this is not political, but America wants to take back ownership of the Panama Canal. And I'm like, wow, and they've been doing a great job at this. They have been managing this for years. Leave it alone. If it's not broke, leave it alone. Ain't nothing wrong with it, right? So I just definitely will say, Paula, have an amazing time. Please take pictures, share with us. We're probably gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you for 15 days, but I hope you just enjoy yourself, because that is a huge thing to deal with and to experience, right? So enjoy yourself, have fun, and come back and let us know how it was. But yeah, so we are coming to the end. It's almost been an hour. This is what I'm saying. Like, I be saying 10-15 minutes, knowing that if you guys are here live with me, it's not going to be 10-15 minutes. And at least I know that. So for those of you that don't know, connect with me, Miss Inspiration, using my Linktree, the link that's all over my page. If you're on Facebook, if you go to the top of my page, you're going to see it. If you're on Facebook, also, you're going to see the comments. But also, this is also an offer, an opportunity for you to work with me. So today is March 25th, and today is my baby's birthday. Jada's my niece. She's turning 17 today. So for her birthday, she said, Paula said she'll be tuning in during the trip. Oh, it's a working trip. See, this is what I do too. I'll be working. I definitely be working. But yeah, just have fun. But yeah, so you go to my Linktree, you'll be able to see the links to my pages. But I am offering an opportunity. Two things that's going to happen with Inspirational Trailblazers. First thing is that you still have until the end of this month, which is March 31st, to join Inspirational Trailblazers using the link March 25. You get 50% off of each month for the first 3 months. So it's normally $20 a month. You'll pay $10 a month. The second thing that I'm offering for the first 10 people that join this week, you will get a free 30-minute session with me. That strategy session can be used for anything. You're trying to strategize next steps. You're trying to understand your values. You want to identify your purpose. You need some instructions and guidance for that. You want to understand how to get started with your healing. That session is really open to you, and you're going to be able to use it how you desire. For my current Inspirational Trailblazers, you're also going to receive in the community already, you're going to get the instructions on how to book yours. So you already set, you would get your 30-minute session that you will be able to use. I'm going to probably say within the months of April to May. I'll give some time because I'm really trying to get strategies. I'm trying to get organized. Right? As my niece told me, Auntie, you make and sell planners. You need to use it. And I said, you know what, touche. So that is something, but just want to get, continue to build a community and give a space for people that are looking to grow. They're looking for just that community. They're looking for accountability, right? And that's the beautiful part about Inspirational Trailblazers. So head over there, use the code so that you can get that discount. And then once you are there, you're going to be able to you'll see access to how to book your session, and it's only for the first 10 people. Yes, my baby, she be having some wisdom, even though she be coming up a little fresh sometimes, but I still love her and I appreciate her. But yeah, so Paula, have a great trip. Bola, we'll be talking. Thank you so much. No, thank you for being here. You all help make this even more engaging, more meaningful. And it's really a collaborative effort, and that's what I really do appreciate. So thank you for spending time with me. We'll try not to go over an hour again, but we will be back tomorrow, though, at 7 a.m. Central Time. And remember, Thursday is the final day of the 21-day challenge. You can find all the recordings under a playlist on my YouTube channel. I still have not organized it on Facebook, but I'm going to put all of those. But YouTube has all of those links. Paula, thank you. She said, this is such a great way to start my day. Oh, I love to hear things like that. Thank you, God, for allowing these moments and these situations that we can come together and just laugh, have a good time, but learn and get so much wisdom and knowledge that we need. Because again, I get all this from God. So people be like, oh, you're just no God. God gives this to me. Sometimes I do go back and I listen, because I listen as a viewer. I listen as a person. What message did I not hear when I was saying it? Right. So that's something that I want us all to get into the habit of. But I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Hopefully we'll be back on the digital camera. I'm going to troubleshoot that and figure out what happened. And you have an amazing day on purpose, with purpose. I love you. God loves you. Be well. Talk to you all later. And again, for those who are in Inspirational Trailblazers, you will see the recording shortly with the PDF that that was presented last night for your empowerment session. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Have a good day.